Item 2.2, discussion and/or action concerning an early release of funds for safety and security related construction projects in the self-funded construction and capital improvement funds.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Dr. Chasson, seconded by Dr. Aguilar, that the board approves the purchase and installation of components for single point of entry systems at schools, the purchase and installation of elevator components and fire pump for the new district office location, and an early release of funds for from the self-funded construction and capital improvement funds to begin the installation of the systems prior to the start of the 23-24 school year. Is there any public comment? Any board member comment? I do have one question. This is for next fiscal year's budget, or this fiscal year's budget?
It's in next fiscal year's budget, but we're going to pre-fund it and move it into this year's fiscal budget.
Okay, thank you very much. Seeing no additional comment, Madam Secretary, I'll call for the vote. Roll call, please. Our computers are not functioning, so we're going to need to do a roll call. What's that? She'll call it out.
Just have a microphone on.
Absent. Yes.
District 7? District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, item 2.3, discussion and/or action concerning the proposed budget for the 2023-2024 Special Revenue Fund. Mr. Dugas.
Yes, this is Special Revenue Fund, which is our grants. Are there any questions?
Board members, any questions? Any questions from members of the public? Thank you, Mr. Dugas. And just point of clarification, this is obviously not the last time this budget will come to us. There will be additional time to review and ask questions at a later meeting, correct?
The budgets will be back tentatively planned on, this budget will be represented on April 24th.
Very well, thank you. Next item is item 2.4, discussion and/or action concerning the proposed budget for 2023-2024 Southside High Construction Fund.
These are the remaining funds from the USDA that have yet to be spent and yet to be approved by the USDA.
Was that $300,000?
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions about this particular fund from members of the public? Any questions from members of the board? Very well. The next item is 2.5, discussion and/or action concerning the proposed budget for the 2023-2024 Truman Pre-K Construction Fund.
This is being funded by the ESSER fund, but we had to create a separate construction fund to meet accounting requirements.
Thank you very much. Any questions from members of the public? Any questions from members of the board? The next item is 2.6, discussion and/or action concerning the proposed budget for the 2023-2024 Debt Service Fund.
It's the debt service fund, which will include the new debt issue that we did in 2023.
And is that the difference in between the 14 million and the 6 million?
Correct.
Okay. Any questions from members of the public? And to clarify my question to Mr. Dugas just now, this is where we will be paying for the bonds that we are selling to finance the construction of Prairie, Karen Crow Heights, and Lafayette High School.
Yes.
It's an additional $8 million of $8 million or $6 million? $6 million of annual debt service. Any questions from members of the board? All right. Item 2.7, discussion and/or action concerning the proposed budget for 2023-2024 combined sales tax fund.
Yeah, this is the fund that is actually the sales tax collection office.
Any questions from members of the public? Questions from members of the board? Seeing none. Item 2.9, discussion and/or action concerning the proposed budget for the 2023-2024 2002 half-cent sales tax fund.
Yeah, this is the 2002 sales tax fund that's dedicated.
Any questions from Members of the board, members of the public,
You go back to 2.8.
certainly. We can go back to 2.8. That is the school food service fund that I skipped. I apologize.
Yeah, this is the fund for child nutrition.
Any questions from members of the public on the school food service budget? Any questions from members of the board? And finally, we'll go back to the 2002 half-cent sales tax fund. Any questions from members of the public or members of the board? Okay, and then one final thing, since I was just now able to get my computer to come up, I will announce that according to the budget timeline, the next special board meeting on the budget will be Wednesday, March 29th at 5:30 p.m., where we will review the Capital Improvements Fund, the Self-Funded Construction Fund, the 2023 Bond Construction Fund, the Group Insurance Fund, the preliminary report of the General Fund Budget Summary, as well as all of the cost centers in the 1100, 1200, 1300, 1400, and 1500 series. So that is what will be happening 2 weeks from tonight. Board members, any additional comments? Meeting's
Motion.
adjourned.
Motion.
You don't need a motion to adjourn.
What was the time?
No.
Giving me 6.
5:39, 5:40, it was, 7.
7.